Hi, so in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about how to help children when they're having a hard time, specifically when you feel like some discipline might be in order, maybe a timeout. But I generally don't recommend timeouts. I feel like they can give children the exact wrong impression that you don't care about them when they're having their big feelings, and when they're having their pleasant feelings, you'd like them to be around you, but when they're having unpleasant feelings, they feel rejected and isolated. I think as parents, our primary goal is to allow children to be loved and supported and to feel like they're in that safe container of love, no matter what feelings they're having. So, this is my little approach to children who are not behaving in a way that you would like to see continue. So your goal is to try to extinguish this behavior, but in the meantime, you would like your child to continue to feel loved and connected to you and supported. So you're trying to teach them how to regulate and allow that big feeling to move through them and to move on to another feeling without destroying anything in the house or getting in bigger trouble. So let's say, for example, your child has been playing happily with a toy and you need to take them to the store. So playing needs to end, you need to go to the store. So you say, Johnny, it's time to go to the store. Can you please put your shoes on? We need to hop in the car. And Johnny gets mad and takes Mr. Dinosaur and throws it at you. And so you need to do something, right? You can't just be like, oh, that's fine, you can throw things at me. So you need to show Johnny the boundaries, but you also need to acknowledge that he's upset. So if he's really upset, you can say, I know, I'm thinking that you're really upset about having to stop playing. It's not okay to throw Mr. Dinosaur at mommy. And then just allow there to be some space and some time. And if he keeps saying something, yelling, screaming, crying, it's okay. You don't have to make him change his behavior or stop in that moment. What you're trying to do is just hold the space for him to allow that feeling of frustration, irritation, anger, sadness. It's probably a mixture of all of those to kind of go through him, and he has to feel it. You can't avoid him feeling that feeling, and it's going to look ugly because he's little and he doesn't have a lot of coping strategies. Our goals as parents is to grow them up so they have a lot of coping strategies. So when they're frustrated or irritated in the boardroom, they don't pick up their coffee cup and fling it at somebody else. So think about it that way. You're teaching him something. This is a teaching moment, even though it may feel really unpleasant. So just sit with him and allow him to express himself. Validate his feelings. I know you're frustrated, aren't you? You know what? Sometimes mommy hates going to the store too. But we have to go. And then give him some sort of option for choice. So we need to go now. Would you like to bring Mr. Dinosaur or bring Mrs. Elephant? Let's give him a choice. It's not an option to not go to the store, but it is an option to bring a toy, and you can choose which toy. Or you can say, you gotta get your shoes on. You can wear the blue ones or the green ones. We can wear flip-flops or sneakers. Kind of give him choice within the boundaries that are acceptable. So you're trying to show that wall, and within that wall, there is a lot of freedom. But what he's thinking is he doesn't even want to be there. He wants to go play with Mr. Dinosaur at home and not go to the store. So you're just showing him where the edges are. So it's teaching, not punishing. So you're acknowledging that he had a big feeling, he's frustrated, giving him choice, and then reward. So immediately, if he's able to choose a dinosaur and allow the anger to move through him and off to some other location and a new feeling to come, reward him. Show him how proud you are of him. Show him. Don't just use words, but show him. Be like really present. When he's really upset and he's yelling at you, if you feel like you need to take a step back because you're getting triggered, or if he is throwing things at you or hurting you, you can say, I love you so much, sweetie. Mommy's going to be right over here loving you until you can control your body, because you almost hurt mommy when you threw that at me. or something along those lines. And it's not okay to hurt mommy. Like, so keeping those boundaries clear, you're not just letting kids get away with anything, which is what some people sometimes feel like if they say, well, if I'm not doing a timeout, aren't I just letting them get away with bad behavior? And you're not. So if you look at it as though the child comes to you and you are their primary teacher, then you're teaching them. It's not your job to change who this child is, and they may struggle with behavior problems. You can help them. I can help you. Your pediatrician can help you. There's a lot of things that you can do to help them, to teach them and help them grow. But shifting from that, I'm going to control the situation and I'm going to make you behave, to more of a, wow, you're having a really hard time, and giving yourself permission to not suddenly make an unpleasant emotion go away, because they don't do that. Emotions come and they go, and you know that from being a human, that you will feel a certain way for a certain period of time. The emotion comes and then it goes. And it's sort of like an ocean wave. That's the way I look at it. It has its own rhythm and its own dynamic. And that feeling is going to come and it's going to go at its own pace. So what you're doing is you're supporting your child and helping them to allow that to just come and go. There are certain things we do to cling to emotions. Sometimes if you participate in the unpleasant emotion with your child, you start in a yelling battle, you make them feel even worse, you shame them, humiliate them, criticize them, tell them they're stupid, idiotic. We use these words sometimes when we're upset. Try not to do that, because then you're prolonging that unpleasant emotion. It's like you're clinging to it. You both will end up clinging to it and will take a lot longer to go away. So if you just don't participate, but hold that loving container for them to experience their emotion, it will come and it will go. I promise. Okay? And then later, after you get back from the store, when he wants to watch a movie, you can sit down and you can talk about it. And you can say, you know what? Sometimes you could hurt somebody if you threw Mr. Dinosaur. If you hit mommy in the eye, it could hurt mommy. She might have really, bad eye problems and have to go see the doctor or something like that, so that he understands the natural consequence of the choice that he made. And say, I know you were really frustrated and it was just really hard, right? But throwing the dinosaur is not a choice. So let's talk about what else you could do when you have that really big feeling. And then problem solve with him. I could punch a pillow. I could go run around the house 3 times. I could yell, ah, really loud. I could roar like a lion. I could make dinosaur noises like a pterodactyl or something. Just give him options. Again, your job is to say, these are the boundaries and these are your choices. And you can choose from these things. And this is how people allow feelings to move through them in a healthy way. So anger can be hard, and I'll talk about that one in a separate video. This one's going on a little long, but I just wanted to give you that sort of overview. And then when he's wanting to watch the video, if you say, look, we're not going to be able to watch a video tonight because you've almost really hurt mommy, then that can be your consequence for the earlier behavior, if you feel a consequence is necessary. I give you permission to not do consequences for everything. I find it's much more effective to do positive rewards when they effectively use coping strategies rather than negative discipline, punishment type things when they're unsuccessful. Because like you or I know, if you have a really bad day at work or you completely mess up on something, sometimes you're in that space of that unpleasant feeling, and it's really hard to learn anything new when you're having those big, powerful, unpleasant feelings. So patience, heading slowly towards your destination, which is having an emotionally agile, healthy child who is connected to you and feels love no matter what's happening. So I think this will help, and good luck.